Hi there. You're about to enjoy the Chronicles of Tom and Jamie.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Mann.
Hey guys, my name's Annabelle Knight.
Hello, this is Becky Baldwin.
Hello, I'm Chesney.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Braden from Say We Can Fly.
Hi, I'm Jamie from Second Cities. You are listening to the Chronicles of Podcast with Jamie and Tom, or Tom and Jamie, whichever way you want to put it on these two guys here.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 120th edition of the Chronicles of Podcast. And these right here are the Chronicles of Second Cities. It is I, the bearded Brummy Jamie, and joining me as always is this man that's already laughing at me. It's this man right here.
It's Scotsman Tom, and welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast. Hit it!
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we are bringing you a very special guest. If you attended either of our live shows, you would have seen this man and his band, who I can hand on heart say the future is incredibly bright for. He's a vocalist for an emo metal band who spread the message that it's okay to not be okay, and play, as they call it, music for sad teens with happy faces. I love that. This week we bring you a man with the greatest first name in the world from the greatest city in the world, because we are joined by vocalist Jamie Martin as we bring you the Chronicles of Second Cities.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Thanks for joining us, my friend.
The fact that you just sucked your own dick twice is embarrassing, Mr. Westwood. Sorry.
He tickled my balls as well. I was
going to say.
That's not
Does that mean do I have to put an accent on there? Do I have to put an accent type join in?
If you could do a Brummy accent for this whole interview, I'd be really impressed.
I'm not going to, but I just... I'd probably like, hold on, it's Bob. Basically, Jamie, all I want to ask you is...
Oh, fuck.
Sorry. How's your Tuesday been, Jamie? How's things? How's life?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Yeah, good. It's been a nice start to the year. It's a nice warm winter, which I love, to be fair, because that means work is a little bit easier. And we've been just up to a lot as the band, and it's just been really cool start to 2024.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
Amazing. But before we talk about all things Second Cities, I always like to ask this question at the start of the interview. Take us back to the days when you were young and growing up, those formative years. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a fireman when I was really young. I think that was probably because of Fireman Sam. That's probably it. And then I wanted to go into like maybe teaching music, but I just no, I saw the stress that college tutors go through, and I'm like, not for me. So I think I'd probably be like, when I was either that or a zookeeper, because I really loved elephants. So one of those, like elephant trunks and ladders. It's a bit like snakes and ladders, I guess. But
I love this zookeeper, but just for the elephants. Fuck every other animal going. I couldn't give a shit. Giraffes get fucked, lions get in the bin. I don't give a shit about any of you. Even the penguins, fuck you all.
Yeah, penguins you can stay in the sun, man. Like that's fine right now. But, like, the elephants, man. No, they care. They care. And I care because they care.
Are they the true kings of the jungle, would you say?
I'd say they're the underdogs of the jungle, because everyone thinks they're massive, but then everyone thinks they're like pussies because of like them being scared of mice and stuff. But then like, I don't know, I wouldn't fuck with an elephant.
No, hell no. Crush you.
Nah. Hippopotamuses, though, they can get fucked. They're vicious bastards.
Yeah, a vegetarian animal that kills meat. Kills humans. Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm going to kill it. I'm not going to eat you because I don't like it. But I'll just get rid of you, mate. That's all right.
It goes against my values, but...
Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
But your time here is done.
No offense to any vegetarians or vegans out there. Fair play to you. I just can't do it.
Nah.
We've already agreed, sir.
No, I couldn't do it. But where did the love of music come from for you, especially the world of alternative music? Was it influenced from your parents or outside?
Oh, no, definitely not parents. I mean, the ability to be able to learn music, that was very much given to me, not from my mum because she doesn't know music, but she very much facilitated that for me. Music of the alternative, I'll start with the alternative scene and I'll get into how I got into starting after. So the alternative scene for me was an escape for me. I grew up with a dad with multiple sclerosis who was primary progressive, and it was just downhill from when I was the age of, I think, 4 to 15 that I can remember anyway. And then he passed away then. But for me, it was always about, I was always treated as an outsider. So it was like, that's my home. That's where the outsiders go. That's where I found beauty in what was being created out of that not cultism, but that just family of misfits almost. Yeah, my mom as a carer to my dad wasn't much of a she couldn't work because she was a full-time carer, so she didn't have a lot of money, but everything that she did have, she put into being able to facilitate me. She was part of she's part of the Salvation Army, which I'm not, but she is, and they facilitated me from the age of 6 to read sheet music and learn trombone. And then from there,
Wow.
I then went in. I discovered Green Day and punk, and I just wanted to rebel. So I was like, "All right with you? I'm gonna listen to Billy Joe Armstrong, pick up a guitar, and yeah, it just went from there. Really, Green Day were a massive thing early on, and then it progressed into metal, probably late teens. To be fair, after my dad passed, I think that's when I really got into the angst and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that, by the way. I know you talk about it quite openly and whatnot. I know it's, a while ago and stuff now, but still.
Oh no, I appreciate that, man. It's one of those ones where you don't talk about it often, but when you do, it's always like, oh wow, that was a thing. But we celebrate the beauty of the memories that you do have through songs like Misery and stuff like that. That's what that song's dedicated to. So, yeah, really happy to share that with people.
Yeah, it's incredible. Go on, Jeremy, sorry.
I was going to say, I think it's really important what you said there as well, that this sort of music was that escapism for you. Now, I'm not saying this is an elitist against rap, hip hop and stuff like that, but I can't imagine someone going, oh, I feel really down. I need something to pick me up. I need to feel my people. I'm going to go listen to Dr. Dre. I don't know. It might be there for some people, but to me, it seems like metal and that community really is an escape for a lot of people.
I feel there's actually an important thing of community in the metal scene. Like, I understand how these artists, like you can look at Tupac Shakur or Biggie Smalls, and how they rapped about the street and how the things that affected their lives in a similar way to how I would sing about songs that how life has affected me. So I understand how they get there, but I don't see the community that the metal scene and the alternative scene really hones in on and really captures. It's really I don't understand it. Maybe it's just because how easily accessible the music is compared to some more of these niche genres that we deal with in the alternative.
Possibly. But how do you go from playing the trombone in the Salvation Army to being the singer of a metal band? What made you decide, fuck you, trombone, I want to sing?
I was never, well, I took lessons when I was like 13, I think 13, 14. They were very like pop orientated vocal. It very wasn't anything it was just someone that was a family friend that had worked on cruises and stuff and wanted to give me a few tips to get me into it. When we started Cities, I was a vocalist with our current bassist Damon in a 2-piece, I wouldn't call it vocal. We literally did the Kesha thing where you just turn up the auto tune to robot, and it was like making pop punk music, but through synths and stuff. It was really weird, and I was going through a proper weird phase at that time.
Sounds interesting.
I'll send you. It was garbage. Probably one song that you keep, but it was 6 minutes of the same thing. So it's like maybe you'd only need like a minute and a half of it. But yeah, I think when we started Cities, it was me and Tony, and it was I was kind of like playing guitar a lot. It was me on guitar and Tony on guitar, and we were searching and searching and searching. We found a drummer, we found a bassist, and we tried a couple of people, and the band was just like the thing is, Jamie, you've got the lyrics written, you're singing the parts to them, like, so they know them. You're more than capable of doing the job. Why don't you just do it? And I was kind of forced onto it, really. I didn't really want to do it. Because I think being a frontman takes a lot of weight. It requires a lot of weight and a lot of responsibility, and you've got to be very careful about how you treat the world and how you interact with people. More so than like I guess it's because we're in the limelight a little bit more. I guess because we're the ones that people go to get. You can't ask people, oh, what's the emotion between going between a G chord and a C chord compared to what's the emotion behind the lyrics? You're no friend of mine. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit. You can't really get into it. So I think that's why you've got to be really careful with it. But I think I was kind of like, I was forced into the role, and I love the role now. But it wasn't an easy transition, I don't think. And it's something that to this day I'm still looking to work on.
I mean, you're killing it. I don't think I think it's pretty blatant that you're pretty good at what you do, if I'm really honest. And I only feel that you can just get better from here.
Thank you.
And that's, it's not the only reason we love having you back at the shows, but I mean, because you command an audience and you get the crowds in all the time, and your tunes are fucking great. So, do you know what I mean? So, and you're all great. All five of you are absolutely wonderful human beings. So, we appreciate you more than you could possibly imagine. And I think you need to give yourself a bit more credit.
Well, we always take it. We always love these comments, and we really take it to heart. It's just it's a lot of work, but it's sometimes it's nice to just step back a bit and just hear these people like yourself say these not really nice things, because we don't often see it when we're so head deep into it. We're just really, really excited to show you what's coming next. If that's how you're feeling about things right now, we really, there's a lot to come. There's a lot of big messages that we're really excited to share.
Yeah, I mean, I think with your performance and everything, and the way things are going, like, you can hear the love and the passion in what you do because of all the success you're having as well. It's like you can tell when someone's like, yeah, I like it. Do you know what I mean? There's a massive difference between people that go, oh yeah, it's fine, and people are like, oh my god, like, was that okay? I think that was great, but I'm not entirely sure. Was it? You could definitely hear the love. Like, you could hear it in the songs as well, which we'll get to in a bit. But like, you could definitely tell the love and the passion is there, basically.
Oh yeah, 100%, without a doubt. Like, it's something it's the last thing I'm thinking about of a morning. At night, and it's the first thing I'm thinking about at morning. It takes my entire lunch break. It's something that I couldn't see my life without. And I'm just very grateful to share it with the human beings that I've shared it along the way. That's band members, present and past. Because obviously they've all been part of the journey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I know a lot of people probably don't know the answer to this question, but where does the name come from?
Well, people think it's Birmingham, and you'd be right. That's where we start. But Second City is a DJ, and we're plural, so that's part 2 of that. And then part 3 of that is the secondary meaning to it is that Birmingham is very much not frowned upon, but looked down upon across the country. Like, we're treated like we're a bit stupid, like, because of how we talk, and that we haven't got much going for us, other than knife crime, which is a really bad thing, really. It's out there, and it needs to be addressed. But honestly, if you look at what incredible things have come out of Birmingham, like, within our own community alone, you've got Ozzy Osbourne, you've got Slash, I'm pretty sure Slash was born around here. You've got Lemmy that's just down the road. You've got Judas Priest that's from Warsalish, well, and still lives around and works and records in. You got Halford from Priest, who's recording in Walsall. I saw him like a few years ago. The scene is very much alive and kicking, and people like to make a big thing about other places. And don't get me wrong, I've seen some phenomenal things in our scenes, but it's happening elsewhere as well. And like, credit to those places as well, because they're picking up on what it all came from us. So I think it's important to recognise that in our message and our name.
Yeah, no, it's decent. I mean, my favorite comedian / actor / human being comes from comes from Birmingham, so and John Oliver. So just
yeah.
I love him so much.
You've got Sermon, you've got Brum the car.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
Local legend.
yeah, absolute mint geezer. Like, we shouldn't him personally, but could never get him to stop for me. Like he was always on the go. Yeah, so I'd say it's a phenomenal place to be, and it's forever growing. You look at the creative sector of Digbeth and how it's expanding and forever growing. And you've got different sections, not just in music but in creative arts as well. And I think people just sleep on it a bit much, which is why we wanted to address that in our name.
Nice.
I like that. I like that a lot because, like you say, there's so much going on here, and yeah, people hear the accent and go, "Yeah, they're stupid." So
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. But I just wanted to touch back. You were talking a minute ago about being a front man and how you didn't really ever want to do that. Being front man on a stage, you've got to have that persona. You've got to put yourself out there. Be that. How hard was it for you to adjust to that side of it, not just singing in a studio?
I mean, I'd done it with the previous acts that I'd been in with Damon. As this, like, because it was, I say, it's him on guitar. We had a bunch of synths and drums on backings, and it was me on front on there. So I'd had a bit of experience with it in the past. I think like the way that I just watched thousands of hours of the artists that inspired me and did what I wanted to do and saw how they create. Like Billy Joe Armstrong's probably one of the biggest ones who back in my early years was showing how you command a crowd. I watched his video Bullet in a Bible, where he's commanding like however many thousands of people in Milton Keynes to do the same thing in synchronization. It's like I want that. I want to be able to spread my message that in my songs that I want to write and have people sing them back to me in that fashion, and that's how I do it.
I like that. I like that a lot because you do just sort of have to not ignore the crowd, but sort of not get in your head. Holy fuck! There's a lot of people out there.
And it happens. Like we played a show in Sheffield, and it was like this underground show. We were like, okay, we didn't know what to expect. We got there. There was like people throwing, like giant inflatable like pineapples everywhere. It was outside. There was like flats above us throwing rocks down at us because the noise was that loud. It was like it was a whole turbulent evening, but it was such a sick show and it was packed. And like just before we start the first song, my leg always goes, especially when we're playing a thing, and our drummer always needs to go for a piss. It's really bad. Always needs to go for a piss. We played Breaking Bands Festival, and we had a featured drummer coming on for one of the songs halfway through the set, and Josh was like, "I just need to go for a piss," and he took the piss. And we were running late. We were like, "Shit, Alfie, jump on stage now. We need you to play with us to fill in until Josh finishes having his piss." So we ended up starting the set with this featured drummer instead of it being a big thing halfway through the set. I think it happens to us all. But I think if you're not nervous, then why like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
absolutely. You've got to be nervous doing something you love, otherwise you don't care.
No, exactly. You're giving up. Absolutely.
So the first Second City song, Broken Lung, was released in 2019. How long before that? So how long before that did you guys get together then? If that's the first official song.
So Tony and I founded Second Cities. I think we were talking about it at the end of 2016. It officially started in rehearsal, like me and him jamming together and writing stuff in early 2017. The official first lineup as a full band where we could record and perform started in September 2017. That was a lineup of myself, Tony, James Docker on guitar, Zach Edge on bass, and Tommy Holden on drums.
Amazing. So you say Broken Lung was the first official release. So was there other songs before that? You went, get rid of them, get rid of them.
We went and recorded like we did it in 10 hours. We just went and just did a live recording of 3 songs that we could just send off to promoters just to start getting some shows in. It wasn't something that we were planning on putting out to the public. And I have still got them on SoundCloud private, so I can go back and go, oh my god, like look at effort, like Tony, mate, look at where we are now. We've done it, mate. We're not shit. we're not there, but we're not shit. Like, but yeah, it was that we had 3 songs that they were falling in, Tides, and Not For Anyone. One of those may make a return at some point. Not anytime soon.
That's right. I mean, what actually made you want to go down like the emo metal type style? Like, was it just influences? Because obviously, say Billy Joe Armstrong is one of your heroes, and obviously Green Day are pop punk. So, what made you go in a completely different direction?
Well, I in college I really got into stuff like Bring Me. The Sempiternal album was brought to my attention, and I wasn't really into that much screaming stuff. I was into like some very like fringe of that, like the Blackout, who are coming back, and the what odd You Me at 6 song or whatever song that had like an Ollie Sykes feature on it or whatever. Like they were the odd thing that I was like, okay, that's like fringe. And Silverstein actually smashed into pieces. Silverstein, that one song, that's what got me into. Because I remember Tommy, our first drummer, like we go back to keyboard lessons when I was 11. And when we were younger, he was getting into metal. He first introduced me to Slipknot. I wasn't really into it though. I just didn't get it at the time. I appreciate it a lot more. It's still not something I go out my way to listen to, but if it's on, I'll jam to it. But I introduced him to Silverstein, and that's kind of where it was like there were hints throughout, but then I think Sempiternal for me was the one. And then, well, to be fair, there were bands before that, like Broken Side, that were doing like this, like the electric dance, crunkcore, screamy stuff. That was what I was experimenting in before Cities. Which, yeah, that's buried. You never seen that again. And yeah, I think, yeah, just look, yeah. So it was the Sempiternal album. Probably bits of My Chem as well. That probably, and then obviously there was like bits of Linkin Park, but I didn't really delve into their heavier side until after Chester had sadly gone. Like that, I didn't actually spend that time. It wasn't something that was really in my circle of music I was listening to with my friends at the times.
Okay.
So was that the sound that Second Cities is now? Obviously, it's more polished and whatnot than it was when it first started. But is that always been the sound and the focus of the band, that emo metal sort of sound, or?
Yeah. Well, the thing that we say to ourselves is that we want to be the heaviest commercial band that you've ever heard. Like we want to be that band. Yeah. Like I don't. People will go. And I don't like in some ways, and I understand it, but I want to rather be the lightest band on the side of things where it gets a bit elitist. I'd rather be a band that is that fringe band that like Silverstein was to me. I want to be that bridge band for people to grow into our scene and ease into it before they start listening to Cradle of Filth, like which is on the car in the regular, like. And it's banger, but like I don't expect people to start there. Start with us.
I like that a lot actually, because you don't hear many bands go, "No, I want to be one of those gateway bands that brings people into this side of it." I really like that. I like that a lot.
Well, if we don't bring people in, where do we expect our community to be?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be alone, and that sounds just a bit sad for me. I'm already a bit alone as it is. I work from home and I don't get out, so it's important for me to have a community and to have connections with people. So I'm going to do that through my music. If you want to be a sad geezer, go and do it. But it's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is here.
Nice.
Hey,
nice.
That was good. Good. I like that.
Your lyrics, Jamie. we'll touch on it. You mentioned about misery earlier, but obviously it's quite personal for your dad and stuff. Like, are all your lyrics personal, or do you have some that you've written that are a bit more story based or political in any way?
Oh, 100%. Like, so we could go through them all. Broken Lung was a bit about like a rhetoric of, we're sick of it. That was very much when I was like, I think, when was that released? 2018. It was when it was just after Brexit or something. And again, I'm not going to go down the which way we should have gone or which way we shouldn't have gone. I just was angry that we weren't talking properly with each other about it. Like, it was something that was very contentious. It's not it being dialogue, it was friction, and with friction you don't get anywhere. I'd rather be slipping across the floor rather than in getting through talks rather than tripping over every hurdle. There are songs that are from a personal place, like Misery. I'm trying to think what's released. So and what isn't released. Oh god, it gets complicated fast. Like a Moth was another more of a I see through like your charade of like your rhetorics of how you talk about and how you stigmatize groups of people, minority groups in right wing media. And that comes from me rather than the full band. But I think when you are representing a band that is representing such a diverse group of people, you kind of, if you're not taking that stance, then you aren't being true to the people that you represent. And if you don't agree with that, then don't listen to our music. It sounds harsh, but we'd rather have people there that are, for that than not. You've got songs like Friend of Mine, which were written and Oceans, which were written for band members rather than myself. It was written on their emotional turmoil or difficult situations. So Oceans was written about our drummer Josh's ex-girlfriend and some turmoil that he was going through in relationships with her at the time before they got back together and then broke up again, and we never saw her again. And then Friend of Mine was written about some internal conflict in the band that had happened between two members, and it was a very therapeutic time to actually just write that song to get out the frustrations, get out the difficulties. That was like, if you go onto TikTok, you'll find scroll through, you'll eventually go, oh well, shit, that's what it was about. I recommend that because you'll go, oh shit. And he didn't actually do what it says in the video, but it was kind of close. And then you've got songs that we've got coming out that are more written about situations that I've seen very close friends, maybe band members, maybe former band members, maybe other people in that aren't right, and there isn't enough things being done about it. And I don't want to touch on that too much until the songs start coming out, because it's going to be like the video that we want to treat. But what I will say is the way that we're going to treat the videos along with it, it's going to be very much a story-driven thing, and we want it to be treated with the utmost sensitivity. And we've got to be really careful with how we do it, because there are a lot of people who are affected by this and may find some of it triggering. So we want to make sure that we are, just being absolutely sensitive with those subjects.
I really like the fact that you speak to a lot of songwriters and stuff like this. Oh, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this. But you've gone, no, this band is for all people. So I'm going to write songs with the band about things they're going through as well. Because yes, my drummer's a person, he's going through shit. My guitarist is a person, he's going through shit. I like that. It shows that, it is a whole band thing. It's not just, this is my issues that I want to talk about.
It extends as far as our community and our fan base as well. Like, I know there are people that have been going through really difficult times and have found connections. And I mean, like, you've got like Zach, who is our what we call him our Mothman. He's our young fan from up South Portish way, Liverpool kind of way, and he's like got he's had issues with his kidneys, and he's just recently had his transplant, and you know, he drifts towards certain songs, and but then you've got other fans that are maybe they identify as trans, or and their family don't accept them, and they find that, you know, well, we don't care how you identify, so long as you are happy and you want to be around us, and that's all it takes, really. And they gravitate towards other songs because I love that we can do that with our fans, because it means that if they find a time where it might be difficult, they know that they can reach out to us. We have fans that message us, and when they say they're going through a difficult time, there's another trans fan who's called Matt, who sometimes goes through a difficult time and messages us, and you know, you want to be there for the people who are there for you, and to put time into your thing, the thing that makes you happy. And we are more than happy to always take those conversations with them, and, you know, be that support network. And sometimes it may come to writing music that may reflect what they're going through, because it's such it just sometimes makes the juices fly. It just does. It makes them really flow, and you can write something really passionate about something when someone's going through a really difficult time, and being really empathetic towards those people.
I love that. But you sound like, get me words out. When you're writing songs for your own personal thoughts and feelings, is that quite therapeutic for you to, like, get these thoughts out of your head onto paper?
Oh yeah, it 100% is. It's just really difficult. I find I can write about I find that I write about situations not when I'm in them. Like, I find that they come they come after the situation. In the moment, when I'm going through some turmoil, I'll write about a song that's got completely different about what I'm actually going through. It's very rare that I write a song that's in the present. Misery was written 10 years after my dad died, so like I tried in the past to write songs, and they just never did justice, and I felt like Misery was finally the way that I managed to get it on paper. And none of those original ideas ever translated over to Misery eventually. So it's weird how these things just crop up in different times. But I do find that the therapy is there, just not. It just takes time to process, I think, sometimes what you're going through, to be able to then get it into an idea.
I suppose it's coming out with a clearer head as well. Now you've processed it and gone through it, you can sort of convey that.
Oh yeah, hindsight's a beautiful thing.
We should probably talk about the song that's not been mentioned, which is actually Behind You. Seeing as we've not talked about that at all yet, that hasn't even popped up once. Chewing Teeth.
Oh yeah.
With Ryan McCombs of Soil / Drowning Pool. How did this even come about to begin with?
So our former management, Martin, absolute legend. He contacted Ryan, his friends with Ryan, got him on speed dial, like, yo, got this band, looking for a feature on their upcoming singles. Ryan gave me a call. He said, like, tell me what you've got. I sent him Friend of Mine and Chewing Teeth and something else which isn't actually out yet. But I can't give you a date on that yet.
That's fine, of course.
And that was he said Chewing Teeth was what he thinking, and it was his wife that said, yes, you need to jump on this band. They sound sick. You need to do this. They'd be really good for you to work with. So massive shout out to Mrs. McCombs. It was then he contacted us. He was like, what do you want us to do? And I was like, well, do you want to do the whole, like, my section that I'm doing over it, in where he's doing his part? And he was like, no, I feel like you've already written your part. Let me do me. And he just went in and he just sent me these two files, and it's pretty much him doing the same. It's just him doing the same thing twice, and it was perfect. And like, when you listen to it by itself, it's like, what? Like, you open it, anticipation is like, I need to hear what he's doing. I open it, I was like, what? But then when you put it into the song, it was like, oh my god, this guy's a genius. And it's got to be said, he's the most humble person I've ever met. Like, he's so relaxed. He's so like chill. He's always made us feel really at home when we've seen it. Like we saw him together.
Yes, yeah.
And that was the same show that we shot this at.
What, the video?
No, the photo.
The photo.
Yeah, the photo. We shot that. We shot that in one of the rehearsal rooms where I think you guys probably did the interview with him as well. I think maybe.
That's. I remember you saying, "Oh, we've done something. I can't talk about it though." I was like,
yeah.
What are they up to?
Yeah, that was this, and then we weren't expecting like the video, but it was like, yeah, man, I'll do the video, and then we hired that out in Digbeth, like this it doesn't exist anymore. It disappeared out of nowhere. It's like a proper one-time thing. But it had like these like projectors all across the screen, which is all the background to the video. And we filmed that with Damien, John, and Jamie, who did. Damien did Friend of Mine, Jamie did Misery's video. So we thought to complete the trio, we'd get them both to do that together. And yeah, it's phenomenal. We're yet to actually perform it live with Ryan. I'm really hoping that it'll happen soon. I keep messaging him, but he's a very good, he's in 2 bands already, man. Like,
yeah, he's a busy boy.
Busy boy.
Imagine doing that video though. You're standing there performing next to him, you're just looking over, going, "Is this happening? Is this real?"
Yeah, it was like it was mental. It was absolutely mental. We were like that. Like he just walked in and he was just like like he come in with his hat. And he's just like he's cat things. Like, I'll be right back. He goes into dressing room, comes back out. He just walks into the room, and as soon as he walks into the room, there's just this like massive aura around him. Like it's like whoa, that he's minty. And he was proper game for all the ideas as well. It was when we first said to him like, yeah, we want you to like batter up this bagman character who represents these like certain things. Like because he's a baddie basically, and we want you to be the hero here. It was like, so you want me to be acting, and we were like, we'll work it out, man. But on the day he was all for it. It worked out as a really cool video. Overall, I couldn't ask for any more, and I'm just really happy that we not only did something really cool, but we also made a really good friend.
Yeah, which is incredible. What's the song actually about?
It's about seeing through a facade of a friendship that turns out to be more of a where you realize basically that they're using you for certain things. Like they basically, yeah, it's very much like a one-way street. It's like if you to turn it the other way around, it wouldn't be reciprocated kind of thing. So yeah, that's what the song's about, and it's more about like seeing through that and then being like, even though you're down about it, you're also, it's the right thing to do. So it's like that interim feeling that you feel when you're going through something that's really crap when you're falling out with somebody.
Yeah.
But you know that it's the right step, and you know that it's going to take you into further directions. This song was written 2019.
Oh wow, it's been sat there for a while.
Yeah, there's with the lockdown, we were obviously, people were stuck. We were lucky because we just finished our EP just before, so then we like just dropped that single by single to fill out that gap, because we were planning to go straight and record the songs much sooner, with the lineup of myself, Zoe, who was going by the name of Ellie, now is Zoe, Tony, Damon, and Josh. But then because of the lockdown and everything, Zoe left the band, and that's when Watto came in, and we went and did these songs. Out of all the songs that we've dropped, Blur in Time and Friend of Mine were written after Watto joined, and so was Misery. Shouldn't the only one that's older, but it was something that we were like, it kind of held up, I think, with us, with the way that it was kind of taking us down the heavier route that we were trying to reach compared to stuff like Broken Lung at the time.
Yeah.
It kind of gave us a bit more edge, and that's why I think we took it to Steel City to record.
So you just mentioned the man himself, and I'm interested in the origin. That man behind you, not Ryan, but Bagman. What is the story, the origin of Bagman? Where did this come from?
Wait for the Netflix series. No, seriously, it's a difficult one. Bagman represents fears, anxieties, and the kind of like stigma that comes around with that as well. He kind of the way that we wanted to use him is that he was very much like this anti-hero. He represents everything that's bad, but we understand him because you know, as people ourselves, as band members ourselves, we've been through these different emotions quite heavily in different ways, especially myself. And that's where he originated from. We do plan to dive deeper into more about him. He's someone that he's no friend. Or we something actually a fan, like one of our biggest fans, Jack. I'm going to give Jack a shout out for this because he actually had the Bagman tattooed on his neck, which is a bit
I saw that.
yeah. I'm like, wow, okay. Like, I've got the Bagman on my leg, but I haven't got the Bagman on my neck. Like, and he put, I think he put in a status like, what's it called? You're no friend of mine, but I won't run from you. And it's kind of like, he's kind of like playing on two different lyrics from two different songs, one that's released, one that isn't, because he's that much of a fan. Like he knows lyrics to songs that we performed like twice, like that. And I'm like, how? We haven't got it, like we haven't got a video anywhere, like how? And yeah, we do plan to go further down the line of more character building with different releases, whether it be Bagman or something else. I guess it's the second city's cinematic universe. I'm not going to get to, like yeah, we have like Doctor Josh Strange or something. Tony's gonna play Spider-Man or yeah.
Tony ain't getting that hair in a Spider-Man mask. Come on.
Oh mate, mate, maybe. What, just to get at the bottom? I mean, what, just like come out like this at the bottom of my hand. Like, but yeah, I mean, it's something that I think as musicians, I want to kind of not on the music to give a place for people to think and get in touch with their inner self. And if these another purpose of Bagman is a faceless entity that anyone can project themselves onto. They can go, yeah, okay, he doesn't look like me, but no one looks like that. But I understand those feelings, and
Yeah.
I can say, yeah, I you know, that's someone that's who I felt in the past. I think we plan to continue that in different aspects, and just build it around an understanding of a better culture behind equality, diversity, stronger respect and acknowledgement of mental health and building of poorer mental health and how to improve on that. And just an overall a bit of acceptance. I just feel like there's a bit too much conflict going on. Like people are arguing on Facebook statuses, there's a war going on across the pond. Like, just need a bit of peace.
Absolutely. I really like that idea because, like you say, it gives that a face that I know it doesn't have a face, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Iron Maiden have got their Eddie and stuff like that. He's their hero. Where you sort of flip to that and go, no, he's a bad guy. Let's get Ryan McCombs to beat the shit out of him. Like,
Yeah.
I like that. It's really clever because it sort of gives that anti-hero, like you were saying. It's really, really clever.
And don't get me wrong, we do plan to have other characters in the future, which I don't want to delve into too much, but there will be more bads. There will be, but there may be goods. I mean, we want to tackle different subjects in different ways. Bagman is the character for anxieties and fears and being scared of change or being scared of a really difficult situation that you feel like you can't escape from. We've got other characters that we want to represent through other songs in a very different light that almost are inspiring rather than someone that you can acknowledge and take on as your demon almost that you want to conquer. We want to obviously like have other ways of being like, okay, there are things that you can't, like, there are, here's an example of someone that's going through it that can deal with it in a better, who goes through something in a different way and handles it, and his inspiration for you to go and make those changes in your life. As I say, without being too detailed on it, it's really sensitive, but if we do it right, I hope I really sincerely hope it touches a lot of people's lives in a positive manner and helps them get the help that they need.
Wow, incredible. Jamie, big question. I know you've got an announcement tomorrow, right? Which obviously this comes out Friday, so
yeah, that's fine.
Is there a Second Cities album coming? That we can talk about. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. I just thought I'd ask the question.
I mean, like, it's the worst kept secret. Like, I'm gonna say no. There's definitely not an album coming. Like, if there was an album coming, it's certainly not soon. But I'm not gonna confirm or deny the process of an album being discussed.
Okay.
But no.
Okay.
13 tracks. No.
The only reason I ask is because obviously today's generation of Spotify listeners and people that listen to music obviously clearly prefer singles now. Because I feel like I feel like this day and age, it's like, that was great, what's next? That was great, what's next? That was great, you know what I mean? It's like within a day, they're like, cool, next. And you spent years perfecting this and writing this and whatever else. So I think an album would be great. I think for you guys personally more than anything else, just to have one there. But is this why you've dripped and drabbed singles instead of just going, here's an EP, here's an album?
I think there's just so many different ways to tackle it, and I think that for the band that we were at the time when we were doing these single drops and then doing the EP drop with the old, and then doing single drops and then whatever with Chewing Teeth dropping it as 3, that was working for and that works for a lot of artists, and I think it's really great as a way to start building a community. But I think personally for me, not that I do go and necessarily go and record listen to a full album in one sitting, but I do think that it's the way that the industry will look at you is very different. If you're able to drop an album and prove that you can get sales out of it, then you are gold dust in that, and that proves that you've got not only you not only got a fan base, but you've got a message, or you've got material that is worth going to the masses. And I think, yes, it's very cost effective and it's very possible for artists, especially like these same crowd rappers or like these rap artists who can produce on a laptop and mix it in their bedroom and get it out there on a regular basis. It is the most effective way to go about it. And does that mean that we're not going to still drop many singles off this album that doesn't exist? No, people probably would still drop a lot of singles off of this album that definitely doesn't exist. That's 13 tracks long. Or 26 or 30, 39 or whatever number you want to make up, because it doesn't exist, so it's fine. But I definitely think I think that the way that you release music now should still follow a similar format of getting singles out there. But if you've got something that you want to treat as a full package, why not? Like, what, like, you how many artists were dropping albums before they were getting big, before the surge of singles? Like, I get the reason to want to keep it relevant, but to stay relevant. But the better thing to do is get people to just keep listening to your music rather than it being a short fad and then getting over it. You want people to, you want the longevity. So why don't you just build that stronger community? Like I've always I feel like I cursed myself with the way that Spotify pay artists. When I said to myself, but when I was like 13, I'll be happy if I could play to 40,000 people, like on a tour, like a night for 3 months if I have to go and work in Tesco. Like obviously, like that's not how I'd like it to go, but the sentiment is still there. Like so long as my message reaches those right people, I think that's what I care about. But if your goal is to just keep yourself relevant as much as possible, and you have the way of being able to facilitate recording loads of singles all the time, go for it. But I think eventually you've got to get an album. You've got to prove that you can get into the album cycle because it's completely different to the singles. You can just write a song and release it, and then you've got 12 weeks to record and release another one. Like with an album, you've got to write it all, you've got to record it all, you've then got to get all the videos together, and before you've even started releasing the first single, if you want to stay on top of the similar kind of process that people do with, I think, like in terms of how often you can release, you need to already start recording your second album before you've even started dropping the first single, which is probably going to happen to us like at the end of this year because we're definitely not recording an album.
I suppose as well with you guys as well. Like, if you were to record an album, I know you're not, but if you were to record an album, like it would make a lot more sense because of the messages you send. You can put that package together of yes, this is issues. Here's there's like processes to get over. You know, you can put that together like a linear, not a story per se, but you know what I mean, like to get that message across.
I wouldn't lie if I said when I was said earlier, like wait for the Netflix series. I'm not like I'm only semi joking there because like the amount of content that we want to put into the video story behind it all makes sense. Like I eventually like the way I see it is that I want to build characters and music that represents feeling and emotion that people go through that can be translated into a series that could be adapted by somebody if they so wish to, because at the end of the day the message is way more important to me than anything. Like don't get me wrong, like I'd love like 50 grand a year like for you to stream my music like per band member, so like $250,000 sort me out Spotify. But at the same time, like if it's making difference to the people that need it, that's great. That's brilliant. I've made that contribution to the world.
Incredible. And talking about like spreading a message and things like that, like I said to you the other day, like I'm gutted we couldn't get you on before the first live show like we wanted to, but I'm actually now in hindsight glad because 2023 was one hell of a fucking year for you guys. And one of the big things you did as well was you were part of Make a Noise for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. From the moment we reached out to you to play that first show, you spoke about how important the foundation was to you and how much you wanted to support it. So getting to actually do this live show must have been a big deal.
Oh, 100%. Like we applied on the whim of like, we've done Chronicles before for Sophie. I think we've done a couple of different ones in the past, but nothing as big as Chronicles was for you guys when you first did it. It was phenomenal, and it's been really, really great every time. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's apply. Let's see what they come back with. And we didn't expect anything of it, and then they come back with a message, and we were like, we've got 4 days to record this.
4 days.
It was a very short window. It required very, very talented and very, very loving. I basically treat him like a dad, even though he's my age. Jay Shredder of Shredder Live Lounge. He's definitely not recording our album at the minute. And we definitely didn't have any album recording dates on the weekend leading on the weekend that we had like to record the video on. So he ended up getting the builders in and having some constructive surgery done to his whole building to accommodate having a whole bunch of rewiring and having it concreted back over in like literally 2 days before we did the video. for Maker Noise, and we do intend to eventually release we do intend to release that video in full eventually, and maybe in sections as one song per each. But for now, we've said that we'll leave it at least 12 months, so that if people want to watch it, you've got to go and watch it on the Sophie site, because that's where the message is about. Like, we'll use it as promotional item. For now, it's for Sophie, and that's what it was all for. And you know, we'll get to putting it out to people on our own platforms later. Right now, go to the Sophie, read the message, read what the story's about, and go and donate if you think it's something that's worth contributing to, which I personally think it is.
Absolutely. But you guys looked and sounded fantastic on that. That's the first thing when you first came up, I was like, shit me, these guys look incredible. Like, fair play to Jay and to you guys, because the quality of that recording is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you, man. Like, I think we did 2 or 3 takes of each song, and we were just like, okay, which one's the best one of each one? We'll just take that one song and we'll just throw it there. And it was, there was one song that's definitely not on the album that's on that video as well. That again, if you want to hear it, that's the only place you're going to hear it for a long time. It's a live version of the song, but it's it'll give you a sneak peek into something that definitely doesn't exist.
So part of me wants to ask, like, when can we expect new music from you guys? But I know you've got this announcement tomorrow, and it's like the fact there's definitely not an album coming, so it can't be part of that. So
yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not that. It's definitely something else. I can guarantee you it's definitely something else that we're announcing tomorrow. This is going out on Friday, and so I can probably announce it by then. Anyway. So by then we'll be announcing a mini tour run with a band called Call of Sharon and a band called Ocean Sleep. We're doing Bradford, Sheffield, and Bristol. We've played with Ocean Sleep a few times up in the north, and they're wild. And Call of Sharon are coming from abroad. So it's going to be a really cool. It's going to be a really cool little package together. If you're in any of the areas, then please come down and come and join our family, and be part of what Second Cities is about. And come and watch some really cool bands as well, because they're really heavy. I think we're like the Britney Spears act of the evening in comparison to everybody else. Like Ocean Sleep go hard, and Call of Sharon go really hard, and then we're there like, oh, I see you, like a blur in time. It's a little bit different, like, but I think we may be changing the set a bit and maybe bringing some heavy material that's not on this album onto those mini runs. So if you want to hear some new stuff that definitely doesn't exist, definitely come to the shows.
You've been making quite a name for yourself up north, haven't you?
Oh, they love us. I don't get it. Like, I love it. Like, thank you, like, so much. And I say I don't get it. Like I expect people to think we're really bad. But it's just wild. Like, maybe it's because of how much we've done in Birmingham, like over our foundation, and people, like, how incremental the improvements have been since people from gig to gig. People haven't really noticed. Whereas like Sheffield, we hit them like quite late on. We hit them like first time 2022, I think it was. So quite late on quite far late into our recent like changes in material and sound stage production and things like that. So yeah, they really like us up in the north, and I think we're taming it back a little bit on the Midlands for a little bit. I think we've got 2 Birmingham dates this year. I think we're going to stick to that, maybe do Wolverhampton. But apart from that, we're going to concentrate on these areas that are really loving us at the minute, build our community there, and then see if we can bring them down to something at the end of the year, which is going to be quite cool, which I can't announce yet, but we are looking at doing something quite cool with a bunch of friends. We'll see what happens.
It's amazing. Are there any places you haven't played that you really want to play?
We're playing Bradford, which I haven't played yet. I want to play. We haven't played London yet. I really want to play London. It's just getting the right opportunity at the right time. I love. There are plenty of shows and there are plenty of promoters that have been asking. It's just we want to make sure that when we do come to London, that we're making it everything that that people expect from a band that they're watching in London, where everything's double the price. So we just want to hone in on a couple of other things before we take on that. But that's more in terms of our stage production rather than where we are as a band, and that'll just come with these like shows. As long as people come and show and buy our merch, that'll come and show hopefully shortly, and we'll be getting into there. I also really want to play Amsterdam. There's a bar that's on the it's on the canal front, and it's like it sits below the canal basically. So if it floods, it floods. But they've got amps built into the wall, and it's so cool. Like you've had everyone from Ozzy to Green Day to all these massive musicians just like in this proper like dive bar that's just playing like Motorhead 24/7. Like they shut the doors with the music still left on. It just runs through the day. It's like that's how metal this place is, and it's so cool. I hear really good things about like this Ibiza scene as well, surprisingly for metal, which I know it's very strange, but I've heard good things from a few different people about the shows over there. And I'd love to do America at some point. I mean, I think everyone would love to do America. Like songs like I'm not gonna get shot for being gay or something, then I'll be okay. We'll avoid Texas or something. Like we'll stay away. We'll stay away from anywhere that might. We'll just do California. We'll do California and New York. Skip everything in between.
That's all you need. They're the main places anyway. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, you got Broadway, and then you've got California. So I'm safe in both places.
So, looking forward to the future, do you guys have like a 5-year plan, should we say, or is it let's go with the flow, see how things go, hopefully it'll be all right?
I want to say that we have kind of like a cycle that we wish to follow. So it's rather than it be a 5-year plan, it's more of a let's continue follow this on repeat, which builds the momentum, which then opens up these doors. Right now, with our manager John at 4Jam, who we've recently added ourselves to, we've been looking down the route of how do we further find our community, and how do we further associate the connection of what the representations of Bagman are with that character, and it's less of a 5-year plan, more of let's get the whole story packaged together of what we want to do with this album that doesn't exist, and then what's the next story that comes out with the album that definitely won't exist after that. And I think that so we're right now we're kind of like in storyboard mode of some of that part. Majority of it's sorted. It's just like the little really sensitive parts that we want to get right. And I think that it's probably going to be a 3-year. I think it's a 2-year cycle, I believe we're probably looking at. So like two years from the album 1 that doesn't exist, you'd be looking at album 2 coming out, but that would be based on singles coming in between to fill that out whilst we're getting ourselves through the second section. Maybe a couple of covers as well. I mean, there's definitely a cover on the album that doesn't exist. Which would be interesting.
I don't care how many times you say it, it makes me laugh every time.
And it's brilliant, isn't it? You might as well. It's like I'm almost into non-existence. There is plans that I wouldn't say again. It's not a 5-year plan, but there are plans to get stuff out there. Maybe remix it, not remixes in it sounds different, but it's the same song. But actual like full-on genre switches of songs out there. Maybe like drum and bass remixes of a certain like Blur in Time, maybe.
Wicked.
And stuff like that, really. But not necessarily a 5-year plan yet. I think once we've got the album one out of the way, we'll be able to kind of like gauge how many years it works out to.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist.
No, I was going to say it doesn't exist, so none of this is relevant anyway. So I might as well not bother asking the question.
Skip 30 seconds, please.
But I do love how far ahead you guys are looking, and the fact you're not just looking at the music, you're looking at his character building, you're looking at, I know you made the joke about the Netflix series, but that sort of thing, you're looking outside of just, we're a band, we play music. And I think that's so important, because it is the music business at the end of the day that you're trying to get into. And the fact that you've said, as long as I can get my message out there, I don't care how I get it out there, as long as I can get that message out there, it speaks a lot to you guys. It really does, because mental health is a big thing these days. A lot of people are finally talking about it like they should be. So for younger people to have this band, they look up and go, there's 5 guys there that are happily talking about whatever they're feeling. They're not embarrassed. They're not ashamed to say it. They're going to say it all. And I tip my hat to you guys. And I'd really fly the flag for you guys for that, because it's needed in today's world. It really is. So fair play to you guys. Just keep up the great work.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. As I say, as long as the people who need that message find that message, that's who we're there for. And if anyone needs to reach out, feel free. Even if you're a stranger and you've only listened to our music once, that is more than enough for us. Like, so long as you associate yourself with understanding of wanting to get yourself better and understanding that you're not alone in these situations, then like that's what's important to us. And just please reach out, and if you're alone, and please find those support networks that you need if you need them.
We did take some questions from the citizens on Facebook. I incorporated most of them into my questions, but as we're talking about the future, a gentleman named Craig Robert Jonathan, the man with 3 first names, he asked a great question, and it's, if you could support any band on a world tour, who would it be? Let's put that into the atmosphere. You're saying you want to play the States and this sort of thing. Who would you love to go on a world tour with?
Mike M.
I had a feeling that might be the answer for some reason.
Mike M. Or Architects, or Bring Me, or Green Day, or I mean, there's a thousand, but I think Mike M really captured that what I needed when I was that age of that scene for me. And I want to almost give that again to that fan base, and saying, like, okay, your kids might not be into Mike M, but they might be into us, and because like there are people who were like that age at the time that are now adults with kids themselves that are now teens that are getting into metal and stuff, and may need like their own like Mike M. And I think to be able to associate ourselves with such a band that has captured that for a lot of people would be just really cool.
Last thing for myself, sir. If people are listening to this and they're going, I like this man, I like the cut of his jib, I'm going to go check out some of his music, what's a couple of songs from the Second City's catalogue that you'd recommend people go check out?
If you're into your heavier stuff, start with Friend of Mine and Chewing Teeth. If you're looking for something a bit more emotional, I'd say Misery. And if you're looking for something that's just general good driving music, I'd say Blur in Time. You could also check out anything prior to those releases, but I think that Blur in Time onwards pretty much sets the precedent of where we start and where we aim to continue. And there's a bunch of other songs I wish I could recommend that don't exist.
Maybe one day, if this hypothetical that doesn't exist album comes out, maybe one day.
Maybe next year.
Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions for our wonderful guest?
I do. I have one more. I mean, when you started this whole journey, this whole Second City's journey with the characters and the songs and everything else, did you think this is where the band would be today?
No, I never thought that we'd be able to actually get our message across to the people, to people that it matters, and I'm really grateful that it does. To everybody who has been that support to us, I really appreciate that. Like, where it could go from here, I don't know, and I really hope that we continue with the momentum that our loving fan base has given us. And obviously, I wish I could have done it with like everybody who has been part of Second Cities from the start, in terms of bands or people who have been fans who have maybe no longer with us or not well enough to come to shows anymore or things like that. Like, I wish I could share it with everybody, but for those who do show to our performances or do listen to our music or do react with us and do engage with us on our social media, I just thank you, because where we are right now with that in terms of streams, I couldn't have imagined that we would be there, and that we would be sitting on shy of like 200,000 streams overall over our whole catalog. And I just thank you for everyone for that. It goes a long way.
Like I said, it's well deserved. And as a 90s pop song said, the only way is up, baby.
Hey.
Before we let you get out of here, any plugs, social medias, websites you want people to go check out?
Instagram and Facebook is where we post most of our stuff. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can find music, you'll find Second Cities. If you want to be part of our family and group, our citizens, you can find us on our group on Facebook, where you can join if you don't want to get to a gig by yourself, like because you don't want to walk through Birmingham city centre by yourself, like at night or whatever. You can reach out to friends and or reach out to the citizens in there, try and find somebody who's in a similar boat, and connect with those people. I'd say keep an eye on our social media for upcoming performances and shows. We are coming to cities near you this year, and just thank you to everybody for listening, and just keep an eye for what's to come. The album that don't exist.
I feel like it needs to be called The Album That Doesn't Exist now.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Incredible. Jamie, thank you so much for doing this, man. It means the absolute world.
No, thank you for having me, guys, and thank you for doing everything that you do for Sophie and your podcast. Fucking mint.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Massively.
Cheers, James.
Thanks.
Look after yourself,
guys.
Thank you very much, Rocky.
Bye.
Cheers.